So excuse me, folks, I'm just waiting for us to get quorum, and as soon as we have quorum, I will begin the meeting. Thank you for waiting. So continue to talk, that's fine. Good afternoon. My name is Jeremiah Ellison, and I am a City Council member for Ward 5, and I am joined here on the dais today by Council members Gordon, Fletcher, and Cunningham, and we are a quorum of the committee. Today we have a couple of public hearings and, of course, our consent agenda, and then lastly we'll be having a discussion about health hire employment training. And so I will begin by going over the consent agenda and seeing if my colleagues have any questions. So for the consent agenda, we have item number 7, which is the liquor license approvals. So we have pages and pages of them. We have item, missing number 8 here.
It's also liquor license approvals.
Oh, yeah, liquor license renewals. Number 9 is the gambling license approvals. Number 10 is the gambling license renewals. 11 is the Minneapolis Pathways grant agreements. Number 12 is the contract amendment with Employ Milwaukee. Number 13 is the applications for environmental grant funding for the 2019 Brownfield grant. Number 14 is the contract amendments with eligible providers for employment and training services. With that, I'll see if my colleagues have any questions, anything they want to pull off of consent. No? I will go ahead and move the consent agenda. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
And that is approved. So next we'll move on to the public hearings. And item number 1, we have an expansion of on-sale liquor with Sunday sales and limited entertainment license for Kieran's Kitchen, and we will have a presentation. So thank you.
Good afternoon, Mr. Chair, members of the committee. I'm Julie Casey. I'm one of the lead license inspectors in the Business License Department, and I am assigned to alcohol licenses in the 2nd Precinct. I'm here and I'm going to present a hearing for a expansion of the premises for Kieran's Kitchen located at 1401 Marshall Street Northeast. They are located in what is known as the Food Building. They came through with an application for an on-sale liquor with Sunday sales, limited entertainment, and a sidewalk cafe earlier last month. That is pending for final improvement for their finishing their remodeling on their location. They are requesting this time to expand their premise to include additional sittings on a private outdoor patio on the side of their building. The patio is directly adjacent to the rear entrance of the restaurant. Their hours of operation will be the same as the interior operation, which is 7 a.m. to 1 a.m. For this hearing, we sent out 69 notices on March the 12th of 2019, including the Sheraton Neighborhood Group, the Northeast Chamber of Commerce, and Councilmember Fletcher's office. We have checked the history of this location, which previously was Draft House LLC. There were no significant police or 311 calls for the Draft House. To date, we've gotten 1 response to our hearing notice, and It was neither in favor of or against. It had recommendations for how the businessman should operate his business. So we are recommending approval of his permanent expansion of premise.
Thank you very much. Any questions from my colleagues? All right, with that, I will open the public hearing. Yes, would the applicant like to make a statement?
Good afternoon. Thank you very much for your time. As Julie stated, we are in the food building in Northeast Minneapolis, and Councilmember Fletcher, who has been a great supporter of ours and the different businesses. It's a USDA facility for Red Table Meats, Bakersfield Flour and Bread, and soon to be the cheese business coming back on July 1st. Obviously, we want to take advantage of the wonderful Minnesota summers that are just around the corner and expand our business to the outdoors on our private, I guess you would call it lawn. And it's just for the enjoyment of not alone our customers, but also of the community that's around us as well.
Awesome. Thank you very much. You're going to take that guy's advice on how to run your... I'm kidding. Well, thank you very much for...
A daily occurrence.
Yeah, of course. Thank you very much for your business and expanding here. Anybody else would like to speak to this item? All right. Seeing no one, I will close the public hearing. And Councilmember Fletcher, would you like to move this item?
I would. I'm very excited about what's happening on Marshall Avenue, and I know Draft Horse seemed to get there a little bit early, but I think with everybody who's moving to that area, and as we continue to develop that out, I'm excited that you're continuing to invest, and happy to move approval.
The item has been moved for approval. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Awesome. And with that, the item is approved. So thank you very much. All right, up next, we have an on-sale liquor with Sunday sales and no live entertainment license for Cocina Latina Restaurant. And we will have a presentation from staff.
Mr. Chair and committee members, I just came back from Africa and I was gone for a couple of weeks, so I might have still jet lag, so I might still have sleep, so... Yes, my name is Mohammed Ismail. I'm the lead license inspector assigned to 5th Precinct. I'm presenting an application from Cocina Latina doing business as a Latina restaurant located at 3764 Nicollet Avenue in Ward 8. Cocina Latina currently has an on-sale wine with a strong beer, no live entertainment. They have been operating this location since 2009. They are requesting a license upgrade for an on-sale liquor with Sunday sales, no live entertainment. The hours of operations stay the same, no change at all. They have indoor seatings for 49 and 16 on a sidewalk cafe. On March 15th, notices were sent to residents, property owners within 600 feet of the premises. Notices were also sent to Kingfield Neighborhood Association, Southwest Minneapolis Business Association, and Council Member Andrew Jenkins. We have received 3 responses. All 3 responses are in favor for the upgrade. A review of 311 calls and a police call has found no significant concern on this establishment. They do not have any operating conditions on their license. License and Consumer Services Division recommends approval on on-sale liquor with Sunday sales, no live entertainment for Cocina Latina. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Do my colleagues have any questions? Seeing none, I will go ahead and open the public hearing. Would anyone like to speak to this item? Thank you.
Hi. Yeah, so this is my mom and my aunt. They run the Cocina Latina, and like you mentioned, they've been running for a couple of years. And we always get customers asking, where are the margaritas? Can we have all of these drinks? Because we are a Hispanic restaurant, so we think that this would really add to that. And yeah, so I think it's just primarily for the customers that we really want to add that piece of our culture and have those kind of drinks. So,
Awesome. Yeah. Anything else?
I just wanted to say, I don't know. Thank you.
Good service.
Absolutely. And thank you all for running your business and doing business here in the city and for this expansion. So sounds like it's going to be a good thing. Thank you. Would any of my colleagues like to move approval? Councilmember Gordon.
Happy to move approval on this.
Awesome. That item has been moved for approval. All those in favor say aye. Aye. And that item moves. So thank you very much. Item number 3, we have an on-sale liquor with Sunday sales and general entertainment license for the Hook and Ladder Theater, and we will have a presentation on that item.
Mr. Chair, again, I'm Julie Casey from the Business License Department. I'm here to present an application from the Firehouse Performing Arts Center doing business as Hook and Ladder, located at 3010 Minnehaha Avenue, who wishes to upgrade their current license from on-sale wine with strong beer, general entertainment, to an on-sale liquor with Sunday sales, general entertainment. There's going to be no change in their business plan. The hours of operation the same, 5 p.m. to 1 a.m. And for this hearing, we sent out notices to 137 locations on March the 14th, also to the Longfellow Neighborhood and Business Association, the Lake Street Council, and to Councilmember Cano's office. Review of this address shows there's no significant police calls or 311 complaints to report. And we also would like to recommend approval of this application. Just on a personal note, I've been working with this place since it was Patrick's Cabaret and have been helping them through most of these applications and processes, and they are just a terrific business to have been working with.
Awesome, and thank you for the vote of confidence as well. Do my colleagues have any questions? Seeing none, I will open this for a public hearing. Would anybody like to speak to this issue? This item, sorry.
Thank you, Chairman and Council. I've got a head cold, so I'll make my comments brief. My name's Christopher Mosina. I'm the Executive Director of the Firehouse Performing Arts Center. And I want to thank you in advance for your thoughtful consideration of this application in this era where we've lost a number of community and performing arts spaces. We're actually have found that this component of an ongoing business is a necessary one to support us long-term and allow us to participate in different segments in off-seasons. So I hope you will consider it seriously. And I also want to publicly thank CPED and our inspectors for helping us navigate these waters. It wasn't one that we embarked on when we set out and incepted this nonprofit arts organization, but and without their invaluable help, I'm not sure we'd be here today. So thank you.
Awesome, thank you. And yes, thank you for doing business again in Minneapolis, and thank you for running an awesome arts organization or being part of it. I know that I've been to a couple of events there myself, and so, and I'm glad to hear there's no 911 calls because you guys it'd be a short trip. You guys are like right there. All right, I will, do any of my colleagues want to make a motion? Yeah. Councilmember Fletcher.
I'm happy to move approval of this item.
This item has been moved for approval. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Ayes have it, and that item is approved. Item number 4, we have a on-sale wine with strong beer limited entertainment license for the tasting room, and we should have a presentation from staff on that.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'm presenting an application from J&J Graves LLC, doing business as the tasting room located at 1434 West 31st Street in Ward 10. The applicant is requesting an on-sale wine license and limited entertainment. The business has indoor seating for 42, and there are no outdoor patio at this time. The proposed hours are 4 p.m. to midnight daily. On March 15th, notices were sent to residents, property owners within 600 feet of the premises. Also, we posted multi-buildings surrounding the business area. Notices were also sent to East Calhoun Community Organization, Uptown Business Association, and Council Member Lisa Bender. We have received one response which supports the new license. The License and Consumer Service recommends approval of on-sale wine and limited entertainment for tasting room. Thank you.
Thank you. Seeing no questions from my colleagues, I will go ahead and open the public hearing. Would anyone like to come speak to this item?
Mr. Chairman and members of the committee, Jim Graves, thanks for hearing this. We're going to open, my brother and I are doing a tasting room, which is going to be a small wine shop serving very tasty wines, hopefully cult wines, and nice charcuterie and cheese and a few warm items. And it's going to be kind of a neighborhood thing, but we think it is going to probably create some energy throughout the community, bringing some wines that aren't here yet. And we hope it's going to be successful. So we appreciate your support.
Yeah, well, thank you very much for being here and doing business here in the city. So,
Thank you.
All right, with that, I'll just move approval myself. All those in favor say aye. 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 All right, and that item moves forward. And that's more efficient. So. All right. Item number 5 is on sale liquor with Sunday sales and no live entertainment license for La Fresca.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Again, I'm presenting an application for a Mama Beer Building Service LLC doing business as La Fresca, located at 4750 Grand Avenue in Ward 11. La Fresca currently has on-sale wine with strong beer, no live entertainment. They have been operating this location since 2013, and they are requesting license upgrade for on-sale liquor with Sunday sales, no live entertainment. They have indoor seatings for 48 and outdoor 28 on a private patio. There's no changes in their hours of operations. On March the 15th, notices were sent to residents and property owners within 600 feet of the premises. Notices were also sent to Tangletown Neighborhood Association, Southwest Minneapolis Business Association, and Council Member Jeremy Schroeder. We have received 7 responses, all which support the license upgrade. A review of 311 calls and police calls found no significant issues concerning this establishment. Licenses and Consumer Services Division recommends approval of an on-sale liquor with Sunday sales, no live entertainment for La Fresca. Thank you.
Thank you. And seeing no questions from my colleagues, I will go ahead and open the public hearing. Is there anyone here to speak to this item? Thank you.
Gentlemen, my name's Barbara. I am the current owner of La Fresca. We would just like to be able to add some specialty drinks that will, I don't know, make our menu better, I guess.
Great.
Work with the food. Sorry, I'm really nervous. I hate speaking in front of people.
It's okay. It's okay.
So thank you for letting me come in and, look forward to it.
Yeah, awesome. Well, thank you for doing business and expanding your business in this way. And it sounds like you got a lot of support, so that's great. So I will go ahead and I will now close the public hearing, seeing no one else interested in speaking, and I will go ahead and move approval of this item. All those in favor say aye. Aye. And that item is approved. And lastly, for the public hearings, and thank all of those who sat through our marathon of public hearings here. We have item number 6, which is on-sale liquor with Sunday sales and limited entertainment license for Cafe Ina.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. The licensee is Kiki Yeshamu, doing business as Cafe Ina, located at 4601 Grand Avenue in Ward 11. Cafe Ina currently has an on-sale wine with stronger beer with limited entertainment. They have been operating this location since 2006, and they are requesting an on-sale liquor with Sunday sales, limited entertainment. The establishment have indoor seatings for 68 and outdoor for 32 on a sidewalk cafe. There is no change in their hours of operations. Notices were sent to residents and property owners within 600 feet of the premises. Notices were also sent to Tangletown Neighborhood Association and Southwest Minneapolis Business Association. Also, we sent it to notice to Councilmember Jeremy Schroeder. We have received 7 responses, all which support the license upgrade. There is no significant 311 calls or police calls at this location or this establishment. The Licenses and Consumer Service Division recommends approval for on-sale liquor with Sunday sales, no live entertainment for Cafe Ina. La Fresca and Cafe Ina, they both owners are related, are brother and sister, so that's why they're located in the same area. Thank you.
Great, thank you.
And if I may,
Yes, please.
Chair, Ellison, I'm sorry, Linda Roberts from Business Licensing. It's worth noting that Hector, that is also involved in both of these businesses, was on the city's workforce and work group to upgrade on-sale wine establishments to full liquor. So they were involved in the process and educating the community and also the city officials on how that process could go well. So it's really exciting that they're able to make their application today.
Awesome, thank you. Thank you for letting us know that information. All right, well, seeing no questions from my colleagues, I will now open the public hearing. Oh, yeah, I'm opening the public hearing. No, it's okay, sorry. I'm now open the public hearing. Is there anyone who would like to come speak on this item? Great, please come forward.
My name is Teresa, and I live in the neighborhood. And yes, the restaurant has been next door to me. I live at 4609 and 4611. And I'm really petitioning the entertainment piece, just because the restaurant, there are 3 restaurants on that intersection, and the one across the street had some live entertainment or some entertainment, and you hear it. And I work weekends, and so I realize that they might be doing it on the weekends, but I'm a nurse and I work in a hospital, and I have to get up at like 6 in the morning, and I'm really petitioning. I don't care that they're wanting to expand their liquor license, but I'm petitioning about the noise level. And when you can just, I mean, I am so close to that building, and I hear people walking to their cars, I hear people talking out on the street, and when they've had music in the past, they haven't had it, but the place across the street has. You hear it until it ends, and if it doesn't end until like midnight or 1 o'clock, I just think it's disturbing. And it's a small little neighborhood, and I'd prefer not to have the live music. And so that's my petition.
Okay, awesome. Well, I know that staff usually takes that kind of stuff into consideration, and I know that the business owner is here too, so maybe they can address the concern as well. Because I definitely want to honor that concern that you have.
And I'm not sure, did really everybody that sent their application back say they were totally okay with it, that lives in that teeny little neighborhood?
Do you want us to respond?
That'd be great.
I'm
So
sorry,
I would
I'm sorry.
love staff
I'm
to
sorry.
come up and be able to respond
Okay,
a little
all
bit.
right,
So
all right.
thank you so much. Oh, before staff responds, would we maybe want to have finish the public hearing first and then have staff come respond after we've closed the public hearing? So, thank you.
I'm back,
Thank you.
guys. Thank you. I would like to address the issue the lady just brought up about the noise.
Sure.
Although we have had a live entertainment license for several years, I believe since we opened, we rarely use it. And our license is for 4 or less acoustical. So it's inside, it's non-amplified, and we have never had a noise complaint in regards to live entertainment or loud music.
Okay, thank you. That's really helpful for the committee to know as well. So, thank you.
Okay, good.
So seeing no one else, I'm going to go ahead and close the public hearing, and then I'm going to allow staff maybe to come up and respond as well.
Yes, Mr. Chair, what Cafe Ina is applying is an upgrade. They had the entertainment since 2006, so they're not upgrading. So maybe there's a little bit of confusion that they're just upgrading from wine to liquor. The entertainment stays the same since 2006.
Okay.
And if there is an issue, we welcome the residents to reach out our office as well as 311 and council member's office, or directly reach out the business owner, and we're happy to enforce if there's an issue.
Okay, awesome. Thank you. Given the information that we have, I think we're going to go ahead and continue forward with the approval. But I would say that if you have concerns, please reach out to the council member of the ward. And it seems like, not that I know the business owner really well, but it seems like in our interactions here, the business owner seems really amenable to feedback from the neighborhood. So I just wanted to offer that as well. All right. Well, with that, are there any comments from my colleagues? Oh, Ms. Roberts, did you have? Okay, sorry. Well, with that, I'm going to go ahead and move approval of item number 6. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Awesome, and that item is approved. Lastly, we have item number 15, which is discussion item, and we're going to have a presentation on the Minneapolis Health Hire Employment and Training Program. Yes, so thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Chair, Committee, thank you for allowing us some time this afternoon to talk about one of the initiatives we have at Minneapolis Employment and Training that we are really excited about. My name is Mike Slazak. I'm the Career Pathways Coordinator, working with Deb and Mark and Tammy here. And
I'm Elaine Vandenberg. I'm a Workforce Development Representative for Minneapolis College, which used to be known as MCTC.
And as this is a discussion, please, of course, feel free to ask questions at any time if you have them. Otherwise, we'd like to kind of give you some context about what Health Hire is. It's a collaboration of 4 community-based organizations, Minneapolis College, which has been an outstanding partner in this project, and a number of employers in the healthcare sector. We've really come together to design a series of career pathways around specific entry-level and technical positions that are really accessible without degrees. And this is a key opportunity that healthcare presenters set, a key opportunity in the healthcare sector, in that because of the amount of certifications required, there's a really great opportunity for people to get a certain set of skills and a certain certification and then have entry to a position they wouldn't otherwise have had access to. And we're seeing that with a number of the programs that Elaine is running. So together they form a clear and coordinated series of short to medium-term pathways, and they provide technical training and wraparound support services to help people succeed. These are our partners. Hired, Emerge, Eastside Neighborhood Services, and Project for Pride in Living are the 4 nonprofit community-based organizations we work with. Of course, Minneapolis College and Minneapolis Employment and Training. Within our work at Minneapolis Employment and Training, this falls in our adult career pathways as one of our sector initiatives, along with the public sector tech hire and our transportation pathway. And why healthcare? Number 1, there are many, many jobs that are available in healthcare. As I said earlier, many of them are entry level, or I shouldn't say entry level, but accessible to people without previous experience, and a certain level of training. And because of the large demand, and especially because there are a smaller number of large employers, it's been easier to engage employers more strategically around these pathways. And so each one has had key employer partners that have been involved since the beginning in helping to craft what these positions look like, what the training looks like, what the program looks like. And that's been, I think, one of the differences that we've seen in this program is employers, especially in a few instances, have been really, really committed and partners in this work. And as the industry as a whole, healthcare tends to have strong career pathways, tuition reimbursement. So once you get your foot in the door, there's generally pretty authentic opportunities to move up. And this is kind of just a quick collection of what these programs look like. And Elaine, if you want to talk about more of the specifics.
Yeah, so this is just kind of a chart to provide an overview of kind of what projects happen, how long they happen, with who, and what industries. So you can kind of see that we have programs starting kind of throughout the last couple of years. We also have, we're also solidifying dates for 2020. The other thing that I want to point out is, actually, I'm going to jump ahead a little bit. When we took a look at the work that we were going to do, we said, how does it make sense to break out the healthcare industry? If you're not from the healthcare industry, it's not as clear as where to get started. And because there's so many available jobs in healthcare, each person is going to bring a different skill set to that. So what we decided to do is we decided to break the industry out into 3 different groups. One is direct patient care. And this could be anywhere from a nursing assistant all the way up to an RN. And then we also broke it out to an administrative positions. So these would be positions for individuals that maybe don't want to work directly with patients. They might be a little bit squeamish. They don't want to work with blood. And those are the administrative roles that are equally in high demand and have equally numbers of opportunities for growth. And then we broke out the third kind of area into technical positions, and these are positions like a sterile instrument tech position, which require specific training and aren't really working directly with patients. So there's 3 kind of pathways, if you will, And the nice part about that is we were able to break out the pathways into, if you kind of compare these two slides, into when they're starting. So if I am an adult or a young person and I'm looking at my career options, even if I don't want to work on my feet, even if I can't stand the sight of blood, there are career options for me. If I like those things, there's also career options for me. So we wanted to be lots of entry points for individuals. Also, one of the things that we focused on is Minneapolis College. We already have certificates, diplomas, and associate's degrees. So when we took a look at the work that, or the need that we could fill, we really kind of focused on kind of what are those bite-sized, less than 2-year programs that can really get people a foot in the door. The academic levels that we're focusing on are anywhere from a reading level 8, which is about an 8th grade level, all the way through what we use for our college as the assessment tool, which is called AccuPlacer. This is really fun work. One of my mentors taught me that when you work in workforce development, what you really get by being able to do pathways again and is you get the learnings from each pathway. So one of the things I really like about this program is that we take all the learnings that we learn from each pathway and we apply it to the other career programs that are in the Health Hire Initiative. So some of the things that we've kind of learned along the way that we're carrying with us to make the programs better is we kind of had this philosophical question of do we train to employer requirements or do we train to the college credit requirements? And we side more towards the employer driven pathways. If it follows in line with other credentials that they might earn, we'll add those in there as well. Let's see here. We also got really clear on who plays what role in terms of who manages the employer relationship, who manages kind of the details in terms of, some of the things like internships. The other thing that I think is really great is because we're able to do this project on a larger scale, I think we're able to be really good stewards of public dollars. An example of that would be nursing assistant, the direct patient care route is one of those career pathways that has what we call a high attrition rate because people get into the field and they realize, whoa, I didn't think that I would be helping people, brush their teeth or help them with their toileting needs and different things like that. And so we see a higher attrition rate. So what we've done as a result of those learnings is we over-enroll in the program, knowing that, that's not going to be a good fit for everyone, and then so that we can be really good really good stewards of public dollars. The other thing that we're taking a look at is how can we make sure that we can stack what the students are learning into the programs that we have at the college so that when they're ready to return and continue their education that we have a really good on-ramp for them.
Cool, thank you. Thanks. Can I check really quick how we're doing for time?
Yeah.
A couple of minutes? Okay. I didn't check when we started, sorry. So to date, we've enrolled 137 people, placed 25, and I want to put a huge asterisk by that because most are still in training, so we'll see that number go up. I've recently checked in with most of the providers, and one of the things they did note was with the economy being the way it is, they're seeing people with really high barriers in a way that they haven't seen, and so while we do expect that placement number to go way up, they're still dealing with people that on the brink of or experiencing homelessness, severe mental health issues, and those are still coming up in a way that they're not able to work with in 5 weeks. And so I think that's a reality of just the current economic conditions that we're facing. So far, I think they're all doing really well and on track. Of those placements, we've seen an average wage before training of $12.63, average wage after training of $15.26, which is a 20% wage increase over a relatively short amount of time. And most of these programs are also kind of a probationary period for the first 90 days in terms of wage, and then you'll tend to see bigger increases after that. So overall, so far, that's a pretty exciting increase. And for someone at that wage level, that's almost $5,000 a year, which is a pretty significant jump. We're definitely seeing a lot of people enroll from wards 4 and 5, 4, 5, and 6. Which is kind of what we expected. Those are areas where we do a lot of marketing and outreach. That's where our place-based organizations are primarily based in. Areas where we see a lot of opportunity in terms of higher unemployment. And I'll talk a little bit more about how those intersect with our place-based strategies in a bit. 73%, 73.5% African American, and almost 90% female, which is an interesting, I think not surprising to most people who know healthcare, but a little surprising to me when we started. But I think that's good to know as we start to run more of these programs. We can see where we're serving specific demographics with some programs and making sure that we have other opportunities in our other programs through our Career Pathways work to meet sort of a broader spectrum of Minneapolis residents. So I think that's not surprising to anyone. I want to quickly point out these two, the employment status for people accepted and applied. You'll see that it's a lot higher number of people that were working part-time when they applied to this program, which is also a little bit of a reflection of the current system or the current economic conditions that we see more people working who want to still find an opportunity to improve their skill set and wage. And I also want to point out really quickly, we saw a fairly high number of Somali speakers that applied and very few got accepted. And so we've got some work to do on that, and I'll show you hopefully how we'll get there. So 2019, as Lane was saying, we're really starting to plan for 2019. We want to sustain this work and build on the work that those 4 organizations have done. Looking at adding some bridges and on-ramps out of our place-based locations, so 800 West Broadway and Cedar Riverside. Elaine, one of the really cool parts I'm excited about is Elaine is working with Emerge to do a, oh my gosh, I always get this wrong. What is it?
English for
Industry. Shouldn't be that hard. Program that will help people with language barriers. And those are going to tie out. So they start in the fall, and then when those programs end, Emerge and other organizations will have programs opening up. So they will hopefully be a pretty seamless transition for people that need either English or math reading skills as part of a bridge program. And then as we're looking at that data coming in, for example, with the people who are working, we didn't have any programs this time around that were available off sort of traditional work hours or on weekends. So we want to make sure that this next go around we have programs that are running evenings and weekends, so people who are already working have a better chance of getting into those programs that they're looking for.
Great. We have one question from Councilmember Gordon.
I just wanted to understand a little bit better the primary language difference. So if you were a Somali speaker and you couldn't speak fluent English, were you then denied? They wouldn't be accepted to the program just because of that barrier?
It would depend on some of the testing requirements that were for that specific program. So for example, if there was an English proficiency test, and also employer preference for people that can speak fluent English. So there is a certain level of English that employers would look for once you graduate the program. And that's kind of what this program that we hope to launch in the fall will help people bring that English up to a level where they'll be able to be successful on the job. And some of that was even sort of having translators there during the interview. So it can be a small amount of English help, and it can be a fairly large amount of English help.
And so then would they be routed through the English as a second language course before applying?
Yep.
And how long would that take?
Right now, the program is scheduled to take 10 weeks, and the programs are going to match the program schedules that are set to go in the fall. So this summer, we're going to do the second pilot of the English for Industry, and the 2 main goals are to increase language skills and to really solidify and increase career exposure in the healthcare field.
And then with 800 West Broadway, we're working with the Adult Basic Ed program there. They're doing a medical terminology-focused Adult Basic Ed program that will also be working with them to coordinate those programs.
Thank you.
Thank you for the question, Councilmember.
Good question.
Honestly, I think we might be pretty well, covered it. So thank you so much for your time again, Mr. Chair, council members. Were there any further questions?
Awesome. Yep, we do have further questions from Councilmember Gordon.
Just one more. I was also curious why it seemed like males weren't taking advantage of this opportunity. It seems like we could find a lot of technicians, a lot of nurses. I mean, there's a chance to maybe do some outreach or let it appear as a better pathway to good employment. And do you have any strategies? I don't think, I know that you acknowledge the problem. But are we going to attack that in any way going forward, you think, and try to work with our community partners to do better outreach to attract more males into the program?
One observation that I've made is the programs that are more popular with males are the the non-direct patient care types of roles. So the medical call center as well as the instrument tech have more males in the program. And so when we developed, we're doing a pharmacy tech coming up. The flyer does feature a gentleman on the flyer. So I definitely being mindful of that when going into the marketing strategies. I think the other piece that we could take a look at too is celebrating success stories of guys who've been through the program.
Yeah, maybe we all just have to do a better job of showing our nurturing, caregiving sides out there, fellas, so that the youngsters can see it in action. Thanks.
I do want to note that I do want to note that I think that's an important point that Councilmember Gordon's bringing up. But I also want to say that helping Black women become higher income earners definitely is a good. From what I saw in the data, seemed like that's reflected. I think that that's a tremendous outcome as well. So, yeah.
I think I'll just add really quickly that these are all voluntary programs, and so of course we definitely want to do a better job of marketing and making sure people are aware of the opportunities. But broader within employment and training, we do have other tracks that tend to be more heavily male dominated as well. And so you do see those shake out, but I think thank you for that. You bring up a very good point that we'll definitely take into consideration.
Yeah.
Councilmember Fletcher.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, and thanks for this presentation. One of the things I wonder about, you mentioned sort of the tension between training for the profession versus training for the specific employer's needs or for a sort of short-term placement pathway. To what extent are people in these healthcare programs getting other certifications or things that prepare them to be less vulnerable on the job market the next time they find themselves on it?
Sorry.
Go ahead, please.
This is a really good question. So before we decide to do a pathway, we take a look at a couple of things. We take a look at the job description that we're training individuals for. We take a look at the wages. We ensure that they're family-sustaining wages. And then we take a look at career path and growth opportunities given additional training and education or time in the role. So all of these pathway programs meet all of those things. In addition, a requirement to use the funding source that we used, or some of the funding sources that we used, would be to earn some sort of industry recognized credential. So although they're not earning an academic degree, there are industry recognized credentials built into all programs. One of those industry recognized credentials, which I think is helpful across the board, is a mental health first aid certification. And I think that's a shorter certification that we have received really good feedback on. There's also longer term certifications that are included in each of the programs.
Great. Well, I think that might be it for questions. I really appreciate you all coming and giving us this presentation. If for nothing else, just to let the public know and to let the council know that these opportunities are here and that the city is doing good work and getting folks employed. And so, and it's good to see that, Wards 4 and 5 representing well, folks getting those jobs. So the north side is in the building. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Thank you.
Thank
Awesome.
you for your support.
With that, and I see no further business before us, and we are adjourned. Thank you all for coming.